is Abigail Rothberg, and I have a research grant from Fulbright to come and do research in Sri Lanka. I think what began to change my idea about my research was one time when I was on a beach. I just started a conversation with this man, and he asked me why I was here, and I said that I was doing research, and I said that it was research on violence against women. And he immediately started talking to me about his perceptions of violence against women and his ideas of why it was occurring in Sri Lanka and what should be done to stop it. And I found it really interesting that this random person, I guess, that I had met on the beach was able to say really interesting things that I think I found more enriching than the interviews that I did that were much more structured. So I started to rethink this idea of academic research versus sort of this culturally engaging project that I maybe could have done while I was on my Fulbright.
The biggest challenge that people have is switching on to a very different cultural way of being. Because I felt it's very important for the Fulbright grantees who come here to not come with a preconceived opinion of what they really need to do here, because that takes away from the chances of them enjoying their grant and making the most of their grant. And the real switch from struggling with the grant and struggling with the challenges on the ground take place when they make that mental switch from their preconceived kind of expectations of the grant and then actually going with the flow of what's going on here.
I think I made the mistake of trying to hold too tightly to the academic part of this research. And instead of making this an experience and a cultural exchange as the grant really specifies, I held on to this idea that we have in the US of this being sort of prestigious and research-based, and thought that I really needed to produce something that could be published or produce something that was important to my area.
At least being prepared already in some way to let go of your expectations. Not all of them, obviously you need to have your goals, but sort of remembering or keeping in mind that it's okay to take the other road that you never sort of wanted to take helps people in the end.
My understanding of Fulbright coming here was that it's this very academic program, but that it's also supposed to have this cultural exchange component, kind of 50% both ways. And coming here, I think I've sort of realized more what that means, and that it's okay to take time sort of for myself to sort of focus on these cultural aspects and sort of just getting to know the country.
One of the great things about being a Fulbright scholar is that it teaches you resilience if you don't already have it. In fact, something that I say always at pre-departure orientations or in-country orientations is that flexibility would be key for your success.
What I'm going to take from this experience is learning and understanding about the work that I will do in the future. So while there might not be a product that I'll have to show to people, and that's okay because the Fulbright grant doesn't require that product, I think my product will be what I've learned and how I'll then interact with people in my future jobs, in my career. The understanding that I've gained about the difference between the sort of formal process of creating and designing projects and the reality of what happens on the ground.